Let's explore remote tracking branches. These are essential when collaborating on projects using Git. This presentation will help you understand how to work with branches that track remote repositories, enabling you to collaborate effectively with others. Let's define what remote tracking branches are and their purpose. Remote tracking branches are references to the state of branches in remote repositories. They are typically named like origin/main or origin/feature. These branches represent the state of a branch on the remote repository at the time of your last communication with that remote. The remote tracking branches are updated when you communicate with the remote repository, such as when you fetch or pull. The purpose of these branches is to track changes in remote repositories, allow you to work offline by providing a local reference, provide reference points for synchronizing your work, and enable collaboration across distributed teams. Now let's discuss how to view remote tracking branches. You can list all remote tracking branches using the command git branch r. This will display a list of remote branches, such as origin/main, origin/feature-login, and origin/bugfix123. To list both local and remote branches, use the command git branch a. This will show your local branches like main and featureauth, as well as the remote branches under remote/origin/. Understanding how to view these branches is crucial for managing your Git repository effectively. Let's explore how to create tracking branches in Git. There are two primary methods to achieve this. The first method involves checking out a remote branch, which automatically creates a local branch that tracks the remote branch. For example, using the command git checkout feature-login, we'll create a local branch named feature-login that tracks the feature-login branch on the origin remote. The output confirms that the branch is set up to track the remote branch and switches you to the new local branch. The second method is to explicitly set up tracking for an existing local branch. To do this, you can use the command git branch setupstream to equals origin/featureauth. This configures your current branch, for example featureauth, to track the remote branch featureauth on the origin remote. Alternatively, when pushing a local branch to a remote for the first time, you can use the command git push uorigin featureauth, which both pushes the branch and sets up the tracking relationship. Either of these commands set up the local branch to track the remote branch. Choosing the right method depends on whether you're starting from a remote branch or setting up tracking for an existing local branch. Let's discuss the relationship between local and remote branches. Consider the local main branch, which has commits 1 through 5. The origin/main branch, which is the remote tracking branch for main, only has commits 1 through 3, meaning it's behind the local main. Similarly, the local feature branch has commits 1, 2, and 4, while the origin/feature branch only has commits 1 and 2. The arrows indicate the synchronization points between the local and remote branches. This visualization helps illustrate how local branches can diverge from their remote counterparts, and how Git helps manage these differences. Let's explore how to synchronize your local repository with remote branches. First, let's look at fetching updates. Fetching updates remote tracking branches without altering your local branches. Use the command git fetch to retrieve updates from all remotes. To fetch from a specific remote, use git fetch origin. To fetch a specific branch, use git fetch origin feature-login. Now let's discuss pulling changes. Pulling fetches and merges changes into your current branch. If you have a tracking branch set up, then you can use git pull to pull from the tracking branch. To pull with rebase instead of merge, use git pull rebase. To pull from a specific remote and branch, use git pull origin featureauth. Understanding these commands is crucial for keeping your local repository in sync with remote changes. Let's see how to push your local changes to remote branches. First, the basic push operations. Pushing sends your local commits to the remote repository. To push to your tracking branch, simply use the command git push. To push to a specific remote and branch, use the command git push origin featureauth. To push and set the upstream tracking branch, use the command git push origin feature auth. Now let's consider push options and scenarios. There are different push situations. To force push, which you should use with caution, use the command git push force. A safer alternative is git push force with lease. To push all branches, use git push all. Understanding these options is vital for managing your contributions to the remote repository effectively. Let's explore a typical development cycle with remote branches. The first step is to fetch. This involves updating your remote tracking branches with the latest changes from the remote repository. Next, you create a branch. This means creating a local branch from an updated remote tracking branch. The third step is work. This is the part where you make changes and commit them to your local branch. Finally, you push. Push your changes to the remote repository and set up tracking, if it's not already established. Following this workflow ensures a smooth and collaborative development process. Let's address some common issues that you might face when working with remote branches and how to resolve them. First, let's explore how to check branch status. Use git branch VV to show detailed branch tracking information, including whether your local branch is ahead, behind, or diverged from its remote counterpart. Use git remote show origin to display detailed information about the remote repository. Now let's look at some common issues and fixes. To remove remote branches that have been deleted on the remote, use git fetch prune. To reset your local branch to exactly match the remote branch, use git reset hard origin/main. But be careful, this will remove local commits. To fix branches that have diverged, try using git pull rebase. Knowing these troubleshooting steps can save you time and prevent headaches when collaborating on Git projects. Let's explore some best practices for effectively working with remote tracking branches. First, fetch regularly. Keep your remote tracking branches updated by fetching changes frequently. Second, use descriptive names. Name your branches clearly to indicate their purpose and ownership. Third, clean up regularly. Delete merged or obsolete branches both locally and remotely to keep your repository tidy. Finally, avoid force pushing, and use it sparingly and only when absolutely necessary, as it can cause conflicts and data loss. Following these practices will help ensure a smooth and efficient collaborative workflow. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.